Ballet dancers don't have such illusions. They know that their careers are short, they have to work their asses off, and that chances are, you know, they're still going to be up in a second career when this career is over.
Your company, it's in trouble.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Reviews don't matter.
Mine is too. I've got union issues. If they strike, I don't have to pay them.
What?
The audience is dead, so's the funding. The seats are empty.
Not ours.
That's right. Once we closed off the balconies, the house filled right up.
We have to fix this.
Okay, fine. What do we do?
We trade our top talent, Paris and New York.
When the future is bleak for both of their ballet companies, two directors, one in New York and one in Paris, take a gamble on swapping their best talent in the hopes of reviving the ballet. And that sets the scene for a new series from Amazon, created, written, and directed by the Golden Globe-winning wonder couple Daniel Palladino and Amy Sherman Palladino, famous for their hit show The Gilmore Girls and their 22-time Emmy-winning series The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. They now have their sights set on the world of dance in the funny and fascinating transatlantic series Étoile.
Into Silva arrives today, Nigeria. Nice to meet you both.
Hi, vice versa. Hello.
Watching the series, I was instantly struck by the marriage of comedy styles, because you kind of have the British ironic style of comedy in a character like Simon Callow.
Yes.
You have the fast-paced comedy in Luke Kirby, and you have that very on-the-nose style of French comedy with Laâge.
Yes.
So for you as writers, when you were crafting it, how did you find a complementary synergy between the comedy styles in order to make it translate to the screen?
I think it just comes from the character. You know, we hear the character in a certain way, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I think we just kind of got lucky. You know, we saw the character of Cheyenne Lou Delage in a very, very specific way. You know, Simon is the everything, you know, yeah. and we knew exactly what we wanted him to be. We actually told him 2 years before we wrote Étoile that we were writing a part for him at a dinner, and he was like, we were all like 12 bottles of wine in. He's like, ah, ha, ha, never thought another wine about it. And you know, we've worked with Luke for so long that we know Luke so well. We know what he could do, and we wanted to make sure that we highlighted all of his talents so that people saw the full Kirby as we saw him. So, and I think we just kind of got lucky that they all sort of meshed together.
Put fresh faces out there. Get people interested in dance again.
It would be for a year. Train with them, learn the Paris way. Is he coming back?
I want Cheyenne.
You despise her.
Well, she sold tickets.
This is getting really interesting.
All these years I am here. You just gave me away. I gave up family, children. Oh, you hate children! Because they are drained on the world and are boring to talk to. But that doesn't mean I did not give them up.
Playing the lead role of Geneviève, the frenzied but brilliant director of the Paris Ballet Company, is Anglo-French actress Charlotte Gainsbourg. The César-winning actress has had a decades-long career since childhood, which came as no surprise given her pedigree as the daughter of iconic French singer Serge Gainsbourg and British actress Jane Birkin, the fashion muse that inspired the now world-famous Birkin handbag by French designer Hermès. But despite her success and longevity, Étoile will mark the first time that Charlotte will star in an English-speaking TV series, an endeavour that was a welcome addition to her repertoire.
Watching the series, so when I was younger, I went to a theatre school, and in the building, between all the rooms where there was tap, jazz, ballet, singing, you would go up to the office on the top floor, and it had these two ladies that kind of managed all the chaos. But the only way I can describe them is they were slightly insane, but in the most wonderful way. And then when I watched your character, I just kept thinking to myself, she's been stolen from the office in my school. So I was just wondering that when you saw this character on the script, how did you figure out how to translate her into this woman that straight away we can tell she's excellent at what she does, but she's just kind of chaotic about how she goes about doing it?
She's very chaotic. I didn't meet her because I did go to the opera to see what that world was about and to see behind the curtain what, in France it's separated. You have the directeur de l'opéra and then directeur du ballet. And Amy and Dan made it one person.
Okay.
So that was a bit different. And the offices are less luxurious than in the film. But I could understand the passion. They don't have a life. It's their life is being at the opera, looking after the dancers, the choreographer, the next project. They're passionate, and it's and they have to fight because it's something that's sort of descending. I think that was a challenge for Amy, I guess, to portray the ballet in a way that would be very attractive. But it's funny, when you were describing your theatre school, because I got asked questions about ballet and I thought, I kept answering, I just did 1 year when I was 4 and then stopped because my sister wanted to stop. I remember comment on dit les vestiaires where they get dressed.
The dressing rooms.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The smell in the dressing rooms.
Yeah.
Was something I just loved. I loved the powder in the shoes. It was something like Madeleine de Proust, reminiscent. Very, quite strong. Yeah.
Actor Luke Kirby reunites with Daniel and Amy Sherman Palladino to play the role of Jack, the director of the New York Ballet Company, a quick-witted and amusingly sarcastic character, reminiscent of his recurring role as the comedian Lenny Bruce on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It was a performance that kept him in the minds of Daniel and Amy for the role of Jack.
So from the years that you worked with Amy and Daniel on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, they said that they've developed this admiration for and belief in your talent as an actor. So for you coming into this project, knowing that intrinsically they have this rudimentary level of expectation of you, is that something that's energizing or daunting for you as an actor?
I think it's both. I think it's definitely both. And you try to focus on the part that will help, make the day go smoother. And so that's, the energizing. But most certainly at home, at 4 o'clock in the morning, is the daunting part, comes into play. But Amy and Dan are very, very dedicated artists, and they, they hire a team of artists that are very dedicated. The crew that we worked on Mrs. Maisel with was just so remarkable to me, and they made entering this world so seamless, and a lot of them came on board with Étoile, and all of just sort of watching other people's commitment and dedication reinforces, my own and challenges it too, So it's just sort of looking for that and trying to reflect it back, and, not try to, just try to get your breakfast down and hold it down.
One thing I was struck about when I was watching it is the speed of your dialogue.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering was that something that was written on the page, or was that something that, based on your interpretation of the character, it lent itself well to delivering the dialogue in that way?
I mean, I do think that it lends itself to a certain pace. I kind of feel like these characters they all have a ticking clock, you know, somewhere around here that's reminding them of you know, the inevitable doom, and they have a job that needs to get done, and it needs to get done now, in spite of themselves, and that I do find that with Amy and Dan's writing, the pace, I think of it more as velocity than anything else, than speed or pace. It's a velocity that if you get that in your body and you trust it, their writing reveals itself, its nuances reveals itself in the moment, and that's a very it makes the work very exciting.
But speaking about that thing you said about nuances, I noticed that your character has a remarkable emotional arc because he goes from cutting and standoffish to vulnerable and compassionate to confrontational and combative. So when you see all of that unfold on the page, how do you figure out how to do the emotional transitions and not make it jarring or uncomfortable for the viewer to watch?
Yeah, I don't know. You close your eyes and hope for the best. You know, it sort of is. It's really just getting to know the script as much as you can before you get to the floor, and so it means just putting in a little extra time on weekends, and you know, and just pleading with everyone to get those words out to you as soon as you can, because I just find with their writing, just the more time you can spend with it, the better off you are on the day. Because truly, when you have had the right amount of time with it, the days, you know, go a lot better. They go a lot better.
Congratulations, a really great series. Well done.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You come in here and traumatize every male dancer in the company.
None of these men can be my partner.
Why not?
You think I don't know what I need? You think I'm a baby ballerina stuffing lamb's food in my shoes to stop the pain? There is no stopping the pain, Jack.
I know you are the great Cheyenne, queen of the dance.
But this swap is very important.
So that this magnificent art form that you and I both love can continue to exist.
Stepping into the role of prima ballerina Cheyenne, a talent with no equal in the ballet world, is Emmy-winning French actress Lou de Laâge, who brings energy to the character of a dancer who rages against the machine as much as her talent defines it. And starring alongside her is writer and actor Gideon Glick as Tobias, the peculiar but gifted choreographer of the New York Ballet.
Nice to meet you both.
Oh.
My first question is for Lou. Ballet dancers, because I've known a few in my life, they're very precious about the art form that is ballet. And this series is centered around ballet at the highest level and even has the principal dancers from the New York Ballet and the Boston Ballet in it. So knowing you were going to play the role of the best ballerina in the world, how did you physically prepare for it to make sure that you looked convincing on screen, but also showed respect to your co-stars who are from the industry and hold this discipline of dance so dear to them?
Oh, first I had a panic because I thought, oh my God, how I can't pretend to be a dancer and to have a perfect English and all of that. And after, I was so challenging, so it was so interesting. And Amy has a very, very precise eyes on dance. I don't know if it's an English expression to say that. So I was very confident because I trust her with that. And I had a very good double also. So I was okay. Becoming a dancer, you can't becoming a dancer in a few months. You need a life. So
yeah,
we had real dancers also in the show and really good ones.
and for you, Gideon, gifted people tend to be unusual, and your character is both of those things in equal measure. But Amy and Daniel said in the press conference that on top of that, they wanted him to be somewhere on the spectrum. So when you're now playing that role and you know you have to show all those facets to his personality, how did you find the right pitch so that you didn't make him so bizarre that the audience would struggle to connect with him?
Well, I think it always goes back to what does the character want? What are the motivations? These are really, really passionate characters, and they all want something. They all care so much about what they do. And so for me, it was about just being honest about that and letting that take care of itself. I think sometimes when you play quirky people, it can get a little mannered, and it's about the mannerisms. That was never an interest to me. It was really just about connecting with the other actors and understanding what the character wanted.
And this is for both of you, so I'd like to get both your perspectives. You're doing a TV series, you're doing it for streaming. It is 9 months of filming, and it's completely unapologetically immersed in the singular world of ballet. Did you find this to be a more all-consuming experience for you as actors compared to what you had previously done in theatre and in film?
Yes, it was a real experience because it wasn't only the shooting, but it was also the preparation, because I had like 1 year of dancing, 9 months exactly. So it's a real moment in my life. So sometimes I had the sensation to do a big theater play during month and month. You know, it wasn't cinema anymore. It was bigger than that. But in terms of engagement, sometimes a short movie, just 2 months of movie, depend of the character, can be so exhausted too. So, but it was exhausting. I have to be honest. It was.
And for you, Gideon?
Yeah, I mean, I think because I wrote on the show as well, we started writing on it around January 2023, and so and because of the writing commitment and then the acting commitment, it's all I've been available to do. So it has been my entire life, and so and I don't mind that. I like it. I like having and being invested in something and caring about something.
Well done, and Lou, félicitations, bon travail, vraiment. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Did you sleep on my couch last night?
I just had sex with Gail on it. Why else would you have us do it?
In the place that you sleep?
Gail lives in Queens. No thanks.
See, I've grown up watching you, and one thing I've always said about you is that you've got this perfect blend of being like a British continental. But then when you do French films, you lean into the French side. When you do English films, you lean into the English side. And in this series, both are on display. So did you feel like this gave you the latitude to kind of be the totality of yourself and bring that to the character?
Well, at the beginning, I did ask Amy, is it okay if I keep my accent? I can't do an American accent. I've tried, and it's so fake for me that it's, I don't know, I'm not very good. And they, straight away, they said, oh, we want you as you are. Don't change anything. So they went along with whoever I was, and I was able to, you know, take a step towards Geneviève, but she took a big step towards me. And I really feel for I love the fake strength that she has. I love the facade, because I know that you can just, you know, you can just do that and you'll go straight to the center. And she's not strong, and she's in such a hard position personally. She doesn't have much going on in her life. Her life is the opera. So you, little by little, you get to see that, I think, also.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for the flashbacks to my childhood. Really great.
Thank you.
Lovely talking to you.
Lovely talking to you. Bye.
Ballet is not just about beauty. It is also about business. A business that is fighting to stay alive in modern times. And Étoile turns the lens on that harsh reality, but with a light-hearted approach. And with Amy's own background as a former ballet dancer herself, this was a series with an added personal significance.
I don't know if you're familiar with the story, but in the UK, Sergei Polunin became famous because he was the youngest ever principal dancer at the Royal Ballet.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, there was a massive scandal because he quit to go pursue other things.
Yes.
But what was great is that it started a conversation.
Yes.
And that conversation led to the pay that ballet dancers have. And they compared it to something that's big in the UK, which is Premier League football.
Yeah.
They start as children. It takes a toll on their body.
Yeah.
They retire around 35, they make millions.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing happens to ballet dancers. They don't make as much money.
No.
And then your series lasers in on the economics of ballet as a business.
Yeah.
Was that the focus from the beginning, or did that evolve as you were writing?
That was from the beginning because we really wanted to juxtapose the two worlds, the very light, delicate world of performance of ballet on a stage with the rough world of what it takes to rehearse to get there, and then the rough world of the business behind it. There's business people like Luke, like Charlotte play, that need butts in seats, that need ticket sales, that need group sales, and it's very, very cutthroat. There's a couple documentaries that we loved, made by Frederick Weissman, that showed some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, which is profane, angry, yelling at people on the phone, cutting dancers after 1 year because they're not quite enough. It's a very brutal world because anything at a high caliber like that takes some brutality behind the scenes.
And the fact that it is an art form that you are completely dedicated to, knowing you're never going to make a dime. And it's a very rare person, you know. Because it's one thing to go into something and dream that someday you're going to be that person that's going to, you know, make millions and millions of dollars. Ballet dancers don't have such illusions. They know that their careers are short. They have to work their asses off, and that chances are, you know, they're still going to be up in a second career when this career is over.
Yeah, government should tax football players and then give that money to dancers.
Yeah.
And then just a little bit, just like a 1/10 of 1%, and give that money to the dancers. Because they're doing the same thing. They have the same career lifespan.
Yeah, I agree.
As you pointed out.
I think like after the show, you should put that tagline and we'll send it to Premier League football and
yes,
FIFA.
And
it'll be very popular.
I'll fight for that.
Thank you so much and congratulations on the series.
Thank you very
It's
much.
nice talking to you.
I don't know how much is left in me, Jack.
You do love to dance, don't you, Cheyenne?
This is the stuff dreams are made of.
Shall we begin?
Let's begin. You don't compromise. It's the reason I wanted to do this.
Can you believe that's just a rehearsal? Again.
I did it exactly like you said. I did whoosh, 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 whoosh. Skip the whoosh. I did not skip the whoosh. It did.
This art form will survive. This is wild.